Hey fellow farmers, this is Bunto and this is the review for Rudneyy. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. We did just do a summoning session for him, so for those of you who've came from that, welcome back. And for those of you who didn't watch that yet, maybe you should go back and watch that. The links will be in the description below. Alright, so yeah, so let's start with the review. So as always, I'd love to start off by reviewing their Nat 5s. Just everyone wants to know if they're building their Nat 5s properly, right? So his only Nat 5 is the Bastet. I'm not counting the fusion ones, but although he doesn't have much, he is a newer player, so he doesn't have much monsters actually. So I'm gonna review his fusions too, which I normally don't, because generally, you would know what you're doing for fusion monsters, because there's so much guides, and the fact that you've made them, you should be knowing what to do with them. But anyways, so yeah, let's go with the Bastet here. So it's not awakened yet. Has almost everything, just needs the high magic essence. All right, anyways, so yeah, so really quick review over for Bastet. She's a really good support monster, and she's also very good in raids as well, and he does need a raid team. Actually, let's just do a quick intro. Let's see here. So he didn't say how long he's been playing for, but just from this I can tell he's probably been playing for like I don't know, like 4 months maybe. I don't know, probably somewhere around there. All right, so he can do GB10. Time is 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Team is Sig, Vero, Bella, Chassin, and Amir. And looking at that is the best team you can make at the moment. All right, let's see. Can't do DB10 yet, but can do DB9. Okay, so we're trying to look for a team for you today. All right, and see maybe you can transition yet, or if you may still need to do dragons for a bit longer. And needs a R3 and R4 team. Okay, TOA normal can finish up to 60, and TOA hard at 30. Okay. Oh, so anyway, so let's start off with Bastet. All right, so she's really good. Her first skill does apply attack break, which is very useful in raids. Her second skill applies 3 debuffs with 3 chances: armor break, glancing, and also block heals. Again, very good for raids. And her third skill, of course, she recently got buffed, so this one's a lot better now. Increases the attack bar of all your allies by 30%, and also gives them attack buff and a shield, which is again very good for raids. So yeah, definitely you should build her for raids. All right, see, so these are her stats currently. So like almost 200 speed, not bad. So she's on Despair Broken. Okay, Despair Broken, huh? Yeah, I mean, she's also very good for Guild War and whatnot, but like you're very limited on what monsters you have. So I mean, she is a very good Guild War monster, but if it was me, well, I already have like a really good frontline monster for raids, but since you don't have one, actually, with these stats, she can already do frontline. So actually, she needs more HP though. Yeah, she just needs more HP. So you only need R3 and R4 right now, but later on she can become a really good R5 monster. But yeah, with her current stats, if you just like max out her runes, like plus 15 her runes, she should be able to handle, well, she will be able to handle R3 no problem. It's just R4 might be a little bit more difficult, but what you have her as now is already pretty good. She'll be good in arena, Guild War, and also raids with these stats. Of course, later on, once you get into R5 and higher level arena and Guild War, these stats might not be too good, because she needs like, you, for higher levels, you have to build her one of 2 ways, right? You can't have her for both raid and Guild War. So so that's that. But yeah, right now, like the lower levels with this is completely fine. All right, yeah, so let's see what else. Okay, so that's your only Nat 5, but let's talk about your fusion monsters. So Sig is on Fatal Blade, which is good. Good crit rate. Crit damage is good. Yeah, everything's good here. So he's built properly. Probably on yeah, attack, crit damage, attack. Alright. Vert is on Swift, so you can't do giants yet. I mean, not giants, dragons yet. So it's understandable why he's not on Violent. Of course, you want to transition Vert to Violent. Alright. He's kind of slow though on Swift. Oh, what? No, switch this rune to a speed rune. Trust me, just switch it to a speed rune. And you have all Swift here. So what? Wait, hold up. Yeah. So switch this to like a blade speed rune to make him faster. Trust me, you want that Vert to go faster. Like for Dragon's team, preferably you want Vert to go last, but you don't want him to be too slow at the same time, right? So like get him to like 180, at least 180, 170, all right? And make him go last by making the other guys faster. You don't want to gimp his speed too much and he's too slow. Then you can't get that much turns in, all right? And also when you're leveling him up, when you're skilling him up, try to max this skill if possible, because like that plus 15 damage in the end does help a lot. And for this, like, don't max this skill. Do not max this skill. It's already on a 2-turn cooldown. Once you max the skill, it'll be it's already on a 3-turn cooldown. Once you max it, it'll be on a 2-turn cooldown. So that means this will be off cooldown every time he starts the level, and you do not want him to use this skill whatsoever. I mean, I wish there was an option for you to disable certain skills, and this skill would be one of them that I would totally disable. You do not need this at all, so don't max this skill, all right? Like if you're skilling them up and then you get to level 4 here, and you know this is still left, don't max it out. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. All right. But yeah, so he's on defense, crit rate. So yeah, how you build him here is already pretty good. I would just say switch this to a blade rune, a blade speed rune. So then you can have 100% crit rate. And yeah, the stats that he has right now for your level is pretty good. With the speed rune, okay, so you have no speed on this too. So with his speed rune, if you have a 6-star speed rune at max, you can bring him to like over 200 speed, which is very, very good. It's very good. All right. Baroque, I'm guessing he's probably your farmer or your first farmer. All right. Not much can be said about him. I mean, back in the day when the game first started, Baroque was like a very sought after farming monster because of his passive where you get an extra turn if you kill the guy, right? But right now he's not too commonly used. So yeah, so don't work on him. He won't really help you anywhere. Trust me, don't work on him. Amir is pretty good. Wait, hold up. Oh, okay, he's on Swift. Oh. Alright, yeah. This, at your level, this is a solid Amir. This is a solid... He actually has more HP than mine. Mine literally has 0 HP. The only HP coming from anything is from this rune. And then the rest of the runes have no HP. But yeah, yeah, this is pretty good. This is actually very good. You probably only need to work on his speed, but at your level, he's perfectly fine. Like with this speed, this is really good already. All right, so you don't really need to touch him. Only thing really is you probably need more crit damage and speed. But for where you're at, this is very, very good. I would probably say, yeah, he's like your best rune monster, I would say. Of course, he doesn't have that much HP, but he doesn't really need it for what you need to do with him, which is giants, really. Just giants, and maybe sometime arena too, right? Sometimes. But yeah, so this is pretty good. Chasten, I'm violent, triple HP, okay. Yeah, so I would say switch this rune to a speed rune. Yeah, just switch it to a speed rune. This 37%, even if you max it right now, her being faster does really help. Like if you have a really tanky Chassin with a lot of HP, but she's very slow. She's not going to help too much because she's just going to be a meat shield, right? She's not going to get her heals in time, so people would just, you know, when they're facing you in arena or guild war or whatever, they would just not touch you, right? They would just leave the Chassin for the end, and she's not going to be fast enough to heal the other guys, so it doesn't, you know, so she won't have much effect. So switch her into speed. Trust me, it really helps. Even though you're gonna lose out like a few thousand HP, but having more turns in does really help, right? For instance, like your monster is almost dead, and then you're too slow to be able to heal it, right? And the other guy goes faster than you, so he goes first and he kills it. So all of that HP that you have and all that healing capabilities goes to waste because you're too slow to get the turn in to heal, right? And her number one goal really is to heal. Her second goal is to stay alive. And if she's too slow to heal, then, you know, it's useless. So switch that to a speed rune. Let's talk about your Vermos. Speed, okay. Yeah, Vermos is already good. A lot of HP, a lot of speed. This is very, very good. If you can get him a little bit faster, that would be nice. Which you can once you max out that rune. And, oh, you don't... So it looks like nothing's really grinded. So yeah, so there's lots of room for improvement here. There's lots of room for improvement. All right, so anyways, enough of those monsters there. So let's talk about trying to help you with other things here. So GB10, Sig, Verobella, Chassin, and Amir. All right, so let's see, what do we have to work with here? Unfortunately, you don't have too much monsters right now. You have only like 7 6-stars. Okay. So your Giants B10 team is as good as it will ever be with these current monsters. All right, you just need more monsters, really. If you improve your runes a little bit with those monsters, for sure it can get to like close to 1 minute. But your runes aren't going to be that great right away. Right, so just having more AoE monsters will help. So just wait until you summon more. Unfortunately, I didn't really summon any great nukers for you today, unfortunately. But yeah, but what the team that you currently have is already pretty good for that. All right, actually, let's look at Bella. What does Bella have? So Bella's stats are pretty good, like almost double the HP. Defense is really good. Speed is pretty decent. Okay. Yeah, no, this is a very good all-around monster. You can probably use her. Yeah, you can actually use her for frontline for R3 and R4 as well. R4, yeah, R4 should be fine, but R3 definitely for sure. All right. She has good speed too. Accuracy is pretty good. This is a very nicely built Bella. All right, so good job there. But yeah, so your Giants, just for now, just leave it. I mean, you're farming around 2 minutes anyways. That's really good. So for your dragons, okay, so dragons, you really need to start doing that because R9 is not R9, sorry, B9 is not good enough. You need to do B10, right? So your Sig is perfectly fine, right? Really, Sig is just there to dish out as much damage as possible. The speed doesn't really matter. Like, speed doesn't really matter. If you can get more speed, great. If you can't, that's okay, right? So with these stats, is already good enough. Like, you have a ton of attack, good crit rate. I mean, with this crit rate, you're gonna get 100% off the boss anyway, so it's okay. And crit damage is pretty good too for your level. Again, only thing I would do is change this rune to a speed rune. Really, just change it to a speed rune. And even though he'll be lacking defense, I mean, he has very low defense anyways. 500 for a 6-star monster, that's extremely low. So that defensive rune is not doing anything for you whatsoever. So just switch it to a speed rune. You'll see the difference. You will see the difference. All right. Who else should you use? Actually, so the 4 monsters that you should use right now is all in this corner, which is great. All right. So Vermos, his speed and everything is already good. All right. If you can get him to like 200 speed, even better, because you need the cleanse for him. I'm assuming your towers aren't. Let me just check. I don't know what your towers are. Yeah, definitely work on your towers. Definitely work on your towers. Oh man. Yeah. Speed tower. Okay. Yeah, so like work on your HP tower. You know, a little HP does help. Like at least get it to like level 2 or 3, right? Because after that it starts to get more expensive. Like this defense tower, you can get an extra 2% right now for only 100 glory points, which is very, very cheap compared to later on when you get up there, it becomes like very, very expensive. All right. Yeah, and also work on like maxing your energy. Every bit counts. Like when you're refreshing and refilling for energies, for stamina or whatever, you know, it adds up over time. All right. So anyways, back to the game. So yeah, all of these guys, their stats are already pretty good. Just change your vert to 2. The sorry, the second slot to a speed rune. All right. Yeah, and for your 5th monster, I'm looking here. You don't have her yet, but you should totally build her. And she's only a nat 3, but she does really well. She does really well. And I checked your storage too. I didn't see her in there, but she's very easily to attain. I don't think she's farmable anywhere. Is she? I don't know. But where the hell is she? This witch. There she is. The mystical witch, the water mystical witch, Megan. All right. She is a very, very good monster to have for Dragons B10. I said this in my past review videos, and I'll say it again. She's great. She's great. First skill, dots, which doesn't really matter, doesn't help you too much there. All right. Second skill, toad poison. So what toad poison will do would remove the immunity from the boss and also block beneficial effects. Which the second part doesn't matter because the crystal removes any debuffs and then applies the immunity, so that doesn't matter. But the point is, she's able to strip the immunity off of the dragon, and her AI is really smart. She will only use this if the dragon has immunity on him. All right, so really smart here. This really smart. And the third skill increases the attack bar of all monsters by 20%, which helps. Which it's not needed, but it really does help. But what you want for this skill is the second part of the skill, increases attack and defense for 2 turns. All right, so attack buff and a defense buff for 2 turns, and this is what's going to help you live and do more damage, right? So it's really good. So all of your monsters gets extra defense and extra attack, so you'll clear the waves faster, and also at the same time when you're getting hit, you get hit less, right? And with her toad poison and Bella's Seize, you'll have 2 chances of stripping the immunity from the boss, so it really will help you you know, be more stable, right? So if Bella misses, Megan still has her chance to strip, or vice versa. So it's really nice. All right, and again with the attack buff, you'll kill it faster. And also with the defense buff, you'll be able to take more hits. So you'll notice that when you're playing, but in the dragons, you won't die as fast. And also the goal really is if you can YOLO the dragon, you don't need any defense whatsoever, right? But you can't do that yet. So you need some defense, and also attack will make it so that you kill it faster. Because in the end, the last 30%, the dragon does do more damage. If he has more, that's one of his passive, right? If he has under 30% HP, he will do more damage. So that extra defense and attack really does help at the end, because if you can kill him faster before he hits you, you know, you won't drag out too long and risk the chance of dying more often. And of course, if you can get Vero to be a little bit faster, you know, you can strip, so he can strip off the dots on him, because the more dots you have on yourself, it'll hurt more, right? Yeah, and eventually you want to transition Veramos into Violent, of course, once you get the runes, and keep him on Violent. You can get away with like 180 or 190 speed. Yeah, you can get away with 180 or 190 speed on Violent runes, all right? Because you know, just more chance to Violent. He'll just have more more chance to cleanse, which really does help, and very annoying arena and guild wars as well. All right, yeah, so that's it. I mean, most people would build a Megan array. I guess you just didn't get her, right? Like, is she still darked for you here, or did you feed her before? Where is she? Oh no, you had her before. Yeah. Oh, build her. She's really good. Let me just check to see if you have her her in storage or something. Oh, you don't have her. Okay, so save these witches here. You're gonna need them for skill ups, because she does require a lot of skill ups. Anyways, so oh yeah, let's review the monsters that I pulled you today, eh? So you already have a Chassid. Actually, do you need skill ups? I think you do. Oh, hey, there you go. She only needed 2 more to max out, and now you got it, so that's good. All right. Anyway, so for Orion, oh man, he needs some skill ups too. He really needs skill ups. But anyways, so really quickly, what Orion does, all right, it's pretty much he's just there to annoy the other team. He's just there to annoy the other team, and he's really good at it. All right. His first skill has a 30% chance to give him an extra turn, and this is not like Violent, where every time you Violent, your turn, the chances of you Violent again decreases. This is a flat 30% every single time. All right, that's why when you play against him and you notice he gets so much turns in, that's why. All right, it's a flat 30% chance every time. So yeah, so he gets more turns, and his harmless prank comes off cooldown more often, and this is what's really annoying, right? So he does 4 things. He'll randomly remove a beneficial effect from a monster. That's 1. And he'll only do it on a monster that has beneficial effects. But if the other team doesn't have any, then he won't do anything. But if only one monster, like let's say in Guild War, you're facing off against 3 guys, and their Theomars only has immunity and no one else, right? There's no shield, nothing, just immunity. He will remove that, or he'll attempt to remove that, and then he'll apply. What does he apply? Man, I haven't used. Okay, so he'll stun, armor break, and block heals on random monsters. Sometimes on all on the same monsters. If that's the case, it sucks if it's your nuker or whatever. But he applies it randomly throughout whatever monsters that there is there, and also buff attack bar of all of your allies by 30%, right? And once this is fully skilled, it's only 3 turns. So with this skill, with his first skill, and he procs Violent a few times, essentially he can have this off cooldown like right away, which is very annoying. Which is very annoying. And of course, his second skill is attacks all enemies and breaks their defense for 1 turn, and it always lands as a crushing. So that means this will always have a chance of landing. It won't glance even if he's attacking wind monsters. So if you need an armor break, this is pretty good too. But really, he's just here for his third skill, and his first skill does really synergizes really well to help him with that. So he's really an annoying monster. So yeah, so as for how to build him swift, speed, HP with speed, HP, and so swift focus, right? And try to get him as fast as you can with, of course, decent substats into accuracy, because that's all he's there for, is really to land all of these debuffs here and to be extra annoying. All right. Well, I wouldn't give him your fastest swift rune set. So for me, how I prioritize who to give the my fastest runes to, first I give Bernard my fastest runes, because I need him to be on offense and I need him to be as quick as possible. So Bernard has my fastest swift set, and then depending on who you want more, Chloe or Orion should have your next fastest speed set, swift set. All right, so definitely Orion and Chloe should have your second and third fastest swift set. Who you want to have the second fastest is entirely up to you. All right, but yeah, I would say probably Orion should have your second fastest swift set. That's later on in the game, but Chloe right now, there's a lot of ways to counter her. Not when she first came out, like when the game first came out, she was really, really good. And now, there's more monsters that are added, and then there's more ways to counter, more ways to strip and whatnot. So she's fallen off a bit. She's still very, very good, right? It's just that Come To Us released a lot of monsters since the beginning, and now there's more ways to deal with her than there was in the past. When I first played, if Chloe fanatics, you have to wait. You have to wait for the fanatic to go away. But nowadays you can just outspeed, Galleon goes, wombos, just armor bricks everybody, and then you can just kill off the other guys before her fanatic even goes up, right? But aside from that, she is still very, very good. All right, so yeah, Orion and Chloe should be built very similarly, except instead of, because Chloe doesn't need any accuracy whatsoever, so you can build her like Swift Energy or Swift Endure or Swift. What's the other one? Oh, or yeah, Swift Guard. Probably Swift Guard would be better, right? Just so she's more tanky and heals more. And Orion is, again, same thing, except you want more accuracy on Orion. Versus Chloe, you want more defensive stats, right? So like you want more HP or more defense if possible. But yeah, same thing, speed. So you want speed, HP, Swift. All right. Okay, so let's move on. So TOA. All right, I'm just looking here. You can probably do TOA 100. You just don't know it yet. You just need to level up some monsters. All right. So for TOA, I don't know if you watch my daily doses. You should, by the way. But in my most recent daily dose, I did TOA hard 80 and TOA hard 70. All right, you should watch the one that I did 70. I show my team there and I show their stats and I tell you what they do. All right, you should definitely go back and watch that if you haven't already. But I'll just, say it again here. All right. So you have a Beretta, which is good. What? All the spare? All right. I mean, just you only need 4, right? So get rid of 2 and put in focus. Put in focus. You want some accuracy. You already got pretty good accuracy actually. But yeah, so as it is, his stats are already pretty good. Very similar to mine. Only difference is mine's a little bit faster than yours. That's it. HP is about the same. Actually, if you 6-star him, he'll have more HP than mine. Mine doesn't have that much HP at all. All right, so okay, so the team that you want to use for TOA normal, TOA hard too. It's the same thing, right? Just TOA hard is they have more HP. It just takes longer. All right, TOA normal you can overpower the monsters if you have like really strong monsters. Strategy doesn't matter as much in TOA normal because you can just overpower. TOA hard, you need to use certain team, but right now you can only get to 60 anyways. So I'm gonna tell you the team that you can use to get there. All right. So Beretta's one. You're already building him. That's good. Who's the other one? Do you even have the other ones? Okay. Well, you have a Spectra. Spectra is also very good. All right. Unfortunately, he's not ruined. He's not ruined. So I would suggest ruining him on Swift first. Of course, if you can get all your monsters to go on Violent, that's even better. But if you can't, go with Swift first and then transition to Violent later. All right. Every single monster that I'm about to tell you, that's what you should do. All right. So yeah, so get him on Swift, crit rate, and accuracy. Right. Get him on Swift, on speed, crit rate, and accuracy for 2, 4, and 6. All right. Yeah, Swift focus. And what you really want to max him out on is crit rate and accuracy. So get him as close to 100% crit rate as possible, and accuracy, as high as you can, right? Like 50 or 60 is good. Mine is at 100 and 100 because really I don't need him there for anything else. Some people will tell you it's a waste to get over a certain amount of accuracy, which, it may be, but just for my peace of mind, if I wanted to get it as high as possible, because his other stats really doesn't matter. He doesn't need any HP whatsoever. Mine is constantly sitting at like 0%, almost 0%, right? Because his second skill does consume 10% of his HP every time he uses it. But it won't kill him. So if you're at like 5% and you use it, you'll just go down to like 1% or 1 HP, and you can keep using it. He won't kill himself, but he will consume 10% HP every time before he dies. All right. But anyway, so the reason why he's really good is because of his third skill. It does AoE slow and also decrease attack bar by 30%. And the good thing about this is it does no damage. So because it does no damage, it doesn't glance, so it doesn't matter if he's facing off against water monsters or whatever, he'll always have the same chance to land the debuff and also the attack bar reduction, which is really good. And his second skill does do damage according to the enemy monster's HP, so he's really good to kill off the boss. All right, he's really, really good. So he'll always do the same chunk off of the boss no matter what, which is really good, right? If the boss has like 20k HP, 30k HP, 40k HP, it does not matter. He'll always take off the same chunk because it's based off of the enemy's monster's max HP. How much damage what is the amount that he takes off? I'm not sure. I think it's like maybe 10% or something like that. Honestly, I'm not quite sure, but he'll always do a ton of damage, which is really good. Yeah, and I see here you fully skilled him, so you must have ruined him in the past, which is really good. All right, but yeah, just re-rune him. He's really useful. And then the other the other monsters that you want in there is, okay, so start leveling up your Gildong. Honestly, Gildong at 4-star is actually good enough. My Gildong was 4-star up until he got me to TOA hard 90 as a 4-star monster. As a 4-star monster. The only reason why I 5-star him because he needed the extra HP to survive. Was it TOA? Sorry, like floor 60. No, not 60. Sorry, 93 or 96, wherever the Leo stage was, right? And Leo will always go first because of his passive, and he'll always attack the water monster. And Gildong is like my only water unit, so he would attack him and one-shot him, right? And one-shot him. So my speed didn't matter there. So I 5-star him then, right? But Gildong is very good at 4-star. He can bring you can clear 100 for sure with this probably. All right, just depending on the stats that you have. So really, you want him for his second and his third skill. His second skill is really good. So just look at it here. Attacks all enemy monster 2 times with waves, whatever. Each attack has a 30% chance to apply slow debuff for 2 turns. And if the target already suffers from an attack slow, this will stun them for 1 turn, right? So it's not 30% chance that he will stun them. It's 100% chance, of course, barring resistance and accuracy check, right? But other than that, the activation rate is 100%, which is really, really good for an AoE attack. And he has 2 attacks, so there's 2 chances of doing that. If you look at Veramos' stun, he attacks all enemies and it has a 30% chance to stun them. Of course, once you max him out, it's a 60% chance. So 60% chance to activate, and then barring the accuracy and resistance check. If you don't know what that is, it's so let's say if he doesn't activate, right, with the 60% chance, so there's 40% chance he doesn't activate. So if that doesn't activate, no matter how much resistance or accuracy that you have, it doesn't matter. It will not work if it does not activate. So that's how a skill works. First, it goes through the activation stage. If it doesn't activate, the accuracy and resistance check does not matter. But if it does activate, then it goes into the resistance accuracy check. All right. So with Gildong, he doesn't have to worry about that. He's a far better CC monster than Veramos. All right. So if they already have a slow on them, he will stun them for 100% chance. and well, activate on 100% chance twice, and then accuracy resistance check afterwards. All right. So when Come To Us made this, this monster is so OP. They're probably just thinking, oh, they'll only use this monster, so the stun rate won't be as high because he has to slow them first, which he does have on his second skill, right? But if you pair him off with your Spectra, right? Spectra goes first, AoE slows everybody. They all have the slow debuff on him, and then Gildong will go, and then he'll more likely than not stun everybody that has it on. Like, it's so good. I didn't like him at first, but when I start using him, I loved him, right? It seems like he stuns every single time. And again, skills that has a condition to land will usually ignore glancing, right? So the condition for this one to stun is that they have a slow debuff on them. So if he's facing off against a wind monster and he glances them, but they have a slow debuff on them already, he will still stun them, which is very, very good, right? And his dark brother Woonhawk also has the same skill, but his third skill is not the same. So I actually think he's better than Woonhawk, even though some people don't know the fact that the condition ignores glancing and it'll still stun, right? So they will think Woonhawk's better, but because of that, he's actually better. Because here's why: his third skill is very, very useful. It'll attack 4 times, and each time he'll have a 35% chance once you max it to armor break, right? So for TOA, you want to kill the monsters off. TOA normal, you can just damage them down, right? But in TOA hard, they have too much HP, so no matter how much damage you do, it won't be enough, right? You won't be able to nuke that much every single time. So the best way to kill everybody is by dots. You dot them down, and then they lose 5% every dot. So if you get enough dots in, they're dead no matter how much damage you can deal out. It's just as long as you can land the dot, you'll always do 5%, which is really good, right? But for the boss, you can't dot the boss. You cannot dot the boss, all right? So that's why Spectra and Gildong is such a good combo. Again, AoE slow, and then you can use AoE slow from Spectra, and then you can use Angry Wave to stun everybody. All right, that's one combo that they do together, which is really, really nice. And then the other thing that they can play off each other is, of course, the armor break, and then also Spectra's second skill, which does damage proportionate to the enemy's max HP. So he'll always do the same amount of damage, but having armor break, he'll do a little bit more, which does really help. All right, and yeah, like, you wouldn't really want to use Bella in TOA. Not in TOA hard anyways. Like, you don't need any heals. Like, with the team that I'm telling you to use, you do not need any heals whatsoever. All right, so and then Gildong, again, same thing, right? Speed, HP, and then get accuracy into get speed subs into accuracy. All right, did I say speed subs? Get substats into accuracy. And yeah, he'll be very good. So you need to build up your Gildong. You're missing quite a few monsters. And Mav, I don't know why I don't see a Mav here, dude. You should. Mav is like, if Beretta is like the king of TOA, Mav is like the god of TOA. All right, he's a very, very good monster. All right, most of you guys that are watching this, you probably already know. I don't know if you know or not, but you should totally build a Mav. First skill, chance to stun. That's every turn he's doing something useful, right? Chance to stun. That's very, very good. Second skills, recovers your HP by 25% and provokes the enemy with a 75% chance. So he will heal and provoke. Very good for a provoking monster, because you want to take the damage, but also at the same time you want to be able to heal somehow. So Mav will be your only healer, and he only heals himself, which is, in all honesty, good enough, right? Sometimes he won't even get hit because of Gildong's stun, but just in case, you do have this as a backup, which is really, really nice, right? And his third skill, of course, so good, removes one harmful effect off of everybody, reduce cooldown for 1 turn, and increase attack speed for 2 turns. 2 turns. Like, he'll make everybody faster and also reduces their cooldown by 1 for everybody. That's really good. So your skills can come off cooldown more often. All right. So if you speed tune your guys properly, the enemy monster should not get any turn whatsoever, and then they'll just die from dots. Right. So yeah. So build up your Gildong, build up your Mav, and then you already have Spectra and Beretta. So then the 5th monster really is optional on who you want to use. But yeah, for Mav, you know, again, build him on Swift, speed, HP, and get subs into accuracy. Of course, later on, you want to, again, transition everybody from Swift to Violent. It'll be a lot better. All right, just so you can Violent proc and your cooldown comes off of, your skills come off of cooldown more often. That's all. That's the only reason why you want to switch them to Violent. Not really so they can get more turns to hit more and do more damage. It's just to reduce cooldown. That's all it is. All right. And of course, the reason why Beretta is very good for TOA is because he does apply two dots, but it's for 3 turns. For 3 turns. So that's a lot of damage. That's 30%. If you can land both dots, that's a guaranteed 30% off of the monster's HP, which is really good, right? But really, his second skill is really where he shines, because when you're facing the bosses for TOA, they cannot be stunned, right? So his Turbulence, his second skill, will decrease the attack bar to 0. No matter where it's at, it'll bring it back to 0. So essentially, this works as a stun for the boss. Really, like they lose a turn to attack. So that's pretty much what this is, right? So that's why he's very good. And of course, the speed leader does help too, right? So for your 5th monster that you want to build is, I would say it's optional. The monster that I use really is, you don't have him here. Let me show you. All right, I switch him out for different monsters depending on what I need. All right, so Himos, the Water Grim Reaper, and the reason why he's really good is he does apply his Plague. His second skill does apply dots for 2 turns. 2 dots for 2 turns. So you know, extra 20% there. And unlike Beretta, he doesn't do damage for this. So this doesn't glance. So if he's, you know, facing off against wind monsters, it doesn't matter. He'll always land this on the monster, so glancing doesn't have a part in it, which is really good. And also he does stun for 1 turn here, so it's really good. His Dark Brother is so much better though. It's essentially the same thing, and the last skill stuns everybody. The last skill stuns everybody. All right, it stuns everybody. So that's, but if you have him, totally build him over the water one. All right, it's just an upgrade from the 3rd skill. It stuns everybody instead of just 1 monster. But really, you want him for his 2nd skill, right? It'll just help kill the monsters faster. That's all it is. More dots, because TOA is all about dots, right? It's all about dots. Yeah, and this could be your fifth monster for TOA normal or TOA hard. Again, you would probably need to switch up some monsters here and there for different teams, for different stages. But your core 4 would be Beretta, Spectra, Gildong, Mav, and then, you know, if it's nothing too crazy, Himmels. But some floors have the water, what do you call it? The water copper. I don't know his name. The water living armor. All right. He cannot be dotted. He cannot be dotted. So, you know, at that stage, I would take him out and bring in like a strong nuker so I can nuke him down. Right. So, you know, you just have to switch out the team every so often. But those should be your main 5 unless you need to switch some of them out. But those are your main 5. All right. Spectra, Beretta, Gildong, Mav, and Hemmels. They are very, very good monsters. They took me very, very far in TOA, all right? I can finish TOA, obviously, normal. I don't need them there, right? But in TOA hard, as soon as I brought Gildong, like, I wasn't really doing TOA hard that often. I would get to 60 or 70, and then I would stop because it's too annoying to deal with them, and Veramos doesn't stun as often. But as soon as I put Gildong in, I was able to complete TOA hard 100, right? So definitely use that team. That's the same team I use, and that team will help you out a lot. All right, you just have to make sure the turn order is the same. All right, the turn order is very easy. You want Spectra to go first. You want Spectra to go first so he can land his AoE slow, and then you want your Gildong to go second. Generally, it doesn't really matter who goes second as long as Mav goes last. But for some stages, like the Ragdoll stage, right? If you crit them, it'll increase everybody's attack bar. So really, you want him to go second so you can stun them as soon as possible so none of their stupid passive shit works. All right, so you want Gildong to go second, and then after that, it doesn't matter if Beretta or Helmholtz goes next, but as long as Mav goes last. All right, so Spectra first, then Gildong, and then it doesn't matter, and then Mav goes last. If you can get that turn order in and you build them properly with the correct runes, yeah, you'll go very, very far in Guild Wars. It's just not Guild Wars, sorry, in TOA. You just need the patience, really. All right. Yeah. So I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. If you want to see them in action, go check out my most recent daily dose. You'll see it there. They work really, really well. And again, no heals. The only heal is Mav healing himself, and yeah, and it works out, right? So just watch my recent daily dose to see them in action. All right. So yeah, so that's it for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, watch my other videos, and until next time, happy farming.